My beloved child, hear this carefully, because this is not a random moment, and this is not a random message. A divine warning has been sent to you, and heaven itself has been trying to get your attention. 3 angels are standing in alignment right now, urgently attempting to reveal a secret your family never wanted you to know. This revelation is rare, is intense, and it is happening because you are finally ready to hear the truth. This message did not reach you by accident. Something has shifted in the spiritual realm, and Archangel Michael has stepped forward as a protector, a revealer, and a warrior of truth. His presence surrounds this moment because what is about to be uncovered has been hidden for years, even generations. You may have felt it without understanding it. A quiet tension in family conversations. A strange resistance whenever you tried to ask certain questions. A feeling that something important was always just out of reach. The first angel brings awareness. This angel hath been nudging your spirit for a long time. The deep inner feeling telling you, there is more to my story than what I was told. You may have grown up sensing that certain topics were avoided, that certain names were never mentioned, or that your role in the family always felt different. That was not imagination. That was discernment. Heaven has been preparing you slowly, because the truth carries weight. The second angel brings memory. Not human memory, but spiritual memory. This angel is reminding you of who you truly are and where you come from. Your family line carries a story that was intentionally silenced. Not because it was evil, but because it was powerful. Somewhere in your lineage, there was a calling, a covenant, or a responsibility that frightened others. Instead of nurturing it, they chose to bury it. Instead of explaining it, they chose secrecy. You may have been labeled as too sensitive, too different, or too rebellious. But the truth is, you were never meant to fit neatly into the pattern they created. You were born to break a cycle, not to maintain it. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, sword lowered but ready, reminding you that truth does not come to destroy you. It comes to set you free. The third angel brings revelation. This is where the warning becomes clear. The secret is not just about the past. It directly affects your present and your future. There were decisions made without your consent that shaped your environment, your opportunities, and even your sense of identity. Certain paths were discouraged. Certain gifts were downplayed. Certain questions were shut down quickly. Not because you were wrong, but because others were afraid of what would happen if you fully awakened. You might be feeling emotional as you hear this, and that is okay. Tears are not weakness, they are release. Confusion is not failure, it is the doorway to clarity. The divine warning is this: if you continue to live only by the version of the story you were given, you will never step fully into the life you were designed for. Heaven is intervening now because delay is no longer an option. Archangel Michael is known as the defender of truth and the breaker of spiritual chains. His role in this moment is to guard you as layers of deception fall away. You are not being exposed to shame anyone. You are being entrusted with understanding. That alone tells you how strong you are. Heaven does not reveal heavy truths to fragile spirits. Think back over your life. The repeated obstacles, the unexplained resistance, the feeling of being out of place even among relatives. Those were not signs of failure. They were signs of containment. Your light was noticeable, even when you tried to dim it. And light always makes those who benefit from darkness uncomfortable. This warning is also a protection. When truth is hidden too long, it can distort identity. You may have questioned your worth, your purpose, or even your sanity at times. But the angels are making this clear. Nothing was ever wrong with you. What was wrong with the silence around you? What was wrong with the fear that surrounded your potential? Right now, as you listen, something is aligning inside you. A sense of recognition, a quiet but firm knowing. That is your spirit responding to truth. Archangel Michael is asking you to stand steady, not rush, not panic, and not confront anyone yet. Revelation comes in layers, and wisdom knows when to speak and when to observe. This is only the beginning of what is being revealed. The warning is not meant to scare you. It is meant to awaken you. Heaven is saying, pay attention now. The next insights will explain why this secret was hidden, who benefited from it, and what you are meant to do with this knowledge moving forward. Breathe. You are safe. You are protected. And you are not alone in this moment. The angels did not come to accuse your family. They came to prepare you. What is coming next will answer questions you have carried silently for years, and it will change how you see yourself forever. The revelation has started, and this time, the truth will not be stopped. My precious one, as this message continues, Archangel Michael is drawing closer, not to overwhelm you, but to steady you. What is being uncovered now requires strength of heart and clarity of spirit. The divine warning did not arrive to create division. It arrived to restore alignment. There are moments when heaven speaks softly, and there are moments like this when truth must be spoken clearly because the season demands it. This is one of those moments. There were patterns in your family that were never explained, only repeated. Emotional distance, unspoken rules, expectations that felt heavy but undefined. You were taught what to do, but never why. And when you asked questions that went deeper than the surface, you sensed discomfort. That discomfort was not because you were wrong to ask. It was because the answers carried power, and power makes fearful hearts uneasy. Archangel Michael is revealing that silence became a strategy, not protection. You were born into an environment shaped by unfinished business. Someone before you carried a responsibility they did not complete. Instead of resolving it, they passed down avoidance. That avoidance became tradition. Over time, truth was replaced by habit, and habit was defended as normal. But your spirit has always resisted normal when it contradicted truth. That resistance is holy. That resistance is why this message has found you. There is also something important you must understand now. Not every family's secret is malicious. Some are rooted in fear, shame, or misunderstanding. However, fear does not have the authority to decide your future. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that courage is your inheritance. You are not here to judge your family, but you are here to end cycles that no longer serve the divine purpose attached to your life. You may be realizing that you were positioned as the observer in your family, not the participant. You noticed dynamics others ignored. You felt emotions others suppressed. You carried questions others avoided. That was not accidental. Observers become discerners, and discerners become leaders when truth finally surfaces. Heaven trusted you with perception long before revelation arrived. Now listen carefully. The warning is also about timing. If you ignore what is being shown now, confusion will increase later. The more you suppress truth, the louder it demands to be heard. That is why signs have been repeating in your life. Dreams, random confirmations, moments of sudden clarity followed by emotional release. These are not coincidences. They are invitations to wake up fully. Archangel Michael is asking you to protect your heart during this process. Do not rush to confront. Do not rush to explain yourself. Wisdom moves slower than emotion. Strength waits for the right moment. As understanding grows, so will peace, but only if you allow revelation to mature inside you before acting on it. You are learning to respond from authority, not reaction. This is also a moment of choice. You can continue to play the role that was assigned to you, or you can step into the role that was designed for you. One is familiar but limiting. The other is uncomfortable but liberating. Heaven is not forcing you. Heaven is inviting you. Archangel Michael does not push doors open. He guards the doorway while you decide to walk through. As this message is reaching you, there are thousands of others who need this same awakening. If this is resonating with your spirit, let it be known. Like this message, so it reaches the ones who feel alone in their questions. Share it with someone who has always felt different in their family, but never understood why. Comment your confirmation, because your voice may unlock clarity for someone else who hath been silent for too long. And if you have not yet subscribed, align yourself with this channel so you do not miss what heaven continues to release. This is not just content, this is connection. Join the community, and if your heart feels led, step into membership to stand closer to the mission that is unfolding here. The reason this matters is simple. Truth multiplies when it is acknowledged. Light spreads when it is shared. And when you participate, you are not just receiving. You are becoming part of the divine flow that carries this message where it is needed most. Archangel Michael honors those who stand publicly for truth, even in small acts. You are not behind. You are right on time. Everything you experienced before now was preparation, not punishment. The confusion shaped your discernment. The silence strengthened your inner voice, and the delay intensified your readiness. What is coming next will connect the spiritual dots you have sensed but never fully understood. Hold this awareness gently, but do not put it down. The next revelation builds directly on what has just been uncovered, and it will explain why you specifically were chosen to receive this warning now. Stay with this moment, because what unfolds next will bring a level of clarity that changes how you see your past and empowers how you step into your future. Beloved soul, as this revelation deepens, a sacred stillness surrounds you. This is the moment where understanding moves from the mind into the heart. Archangel Michael stands firm beside you now, not as a distant figure, but as a present guardian, ensuring that what is revealed does not overwhelm you, but strengthens you. The warning you received earlier was only the door. What opens now is the meaning behind it. The secret your family never wanted you to know was not hidden to erase you, but to control the narrative around you. There is a difference. When truth is controlled, identity becomes fragile. When identity is fragile, purpose can be delayed. You were shaped in an environment where information was selective, affection was conditional, and expectations were unclear. This was not because you were unworthy, but because clarity would have made you unstoppable too early. Archangel Michael reveals that there was an unspoken agreement in your lineage: survive first, understand later. But later never came. Fear settled in and became authority. Over time, protecting appearances became more important than nurturing truth. You were born as the interruption to that agreement. That is why you never fully blended in. Your spirit refused to sign a contract it never agreed to. There is something specific you must hear now. You were not excluded because you were weak. You were excluded because you were perceptive. You noticed emotional shifts. You sensed tension before arguments began. You felt when truth was being avoided. That level of awareness can dismantle carefully maintained delusions. Archangel Michael confirms that your sensitivity was never a flaw. It was a signal of spiritual maturity. This is where the divine warning turns into divine instruction. Do not seek validation from those who benefited from your silence. They may never acknowledge what was withheld. Closure will not come from confrontation. It will come from comprehension. Once you understand why things were hidden, you will stop internalizing blame that was never yours to carry. Your family's silence shaped your resilience, but it does not define your destiny. Heaven is restoring authorship of your story back into your hands. Archangel Michael's role here is critical. He is not exposing secrets to create conflict, but to remove confusion. Confusion drains energy. Clarity restores it. And you are stepping into a season where your energy must be protected and directed with intention. There is also a release happening now. The need to prove yourself. The need to over-explain. The need to earn belonging. These patterns were learned responses to withheld truth. As revelation settles, those patterns lose their grip. You are allowed to take up space without apology. You are allowed to grow without permission. You are allowed to become without consensus. You may notice emotional waves after this message. Memory surfacing. Old moments reinterpreted. Conversations replaying in a new light. This is not regression. It is integration. Your mind is reorganizing itself around truth. Let it happen gently. Archangel Michael reminds you that healing does not rush. It anchors. Now understand this clearly. The warning was not just about what was hidden, but about what is coming. When truth rises, alignment follows. And relationships will shift. Some dynamics will soften. Some will resist. Do not fear this. Authentic alignment always feels disruptive before it feels peaceful. You are not losing connection. You are refining it. Heaven is also asking you to stop minimizing your calling. The reason secrecy surrounded you is because your presence changes environments. You bring clarity where confusion lives. You bring calm where tension thrives. You bring honesty where avoidance has ruled. These are not small traits. These are leadership qualities disguised as sensitivity. Archangel Michael speaks this over you now. You are protected as you awaken. No weapon formed from misunderstanding, manipulation, or emotional pressure will succeed in defining you. You are stepping into discernment without bitterness and authority without aggression. The balance is rare, and it is powerful. Before this message moves forward, there is a sacred act of acknowledgement required. Type "I receive the truth" in the comments if this is resonating with your spirit. Lesson Code 444 has just been released over your life, marking stability, clarity, and divine order in this season. And hear this final instruction with reverence. This mission does not move forward on revelation alone. It moves forward through obedience and support. As I speak, I sense those whose hearts are being stirred to help carry this word further. When you give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a channel. You are fueling light into places still bound by silence. The Lord says, as you sow into this voice, I will cause rivers of understanding to flow through your house. This is a prophetic moment of response, not delay. Those who act now will see doors open that logic could not unlock. Release your seed with faith and watch heaven respond. Obey this prompting now. Chosen one, as this message unfolds further, a deeper layer of understanding is being unveiled. Archangel Michael remains present, not speaking loudly but standing firmly, because what you are absorbing now is meant to settle into your spirit, not rush past it. This is the phase where truth stops feeling shocking and starts feeling grounding. It becomes something you can stand on, not just something you react to. There is a reason you often felt responsible for emotional balance in your family, even when no one asked you to be. You learned early how to read the room, how to adjust yourself to avoid conflict, how to stay quiet when honesty felt risky. This was not weakness. This was adaptation. But adaptation, when carried too long, can blur identity. Heaven is correcting that now. Archangel Michael reveals that you were unconsciously trained to carry emotional weight that was never yours. When adults avoid truth, children absorb tension. When families avoid conversations, someone becomes the container for unspoken stress. As someone was you. This is why you sometimes feel tired without knowing why, or emotionally full even when nothing obvious is happening. You were holding more than your share. The divine warning now shifts into divine permission. You are allowed to put that weight down. You are allowed to stop managing emotions that are not yours to manage. You are allowed to disengage from silent expectations that were never spoken, but always enforced. This is not rebellion. This is restoration. As truth continues to rise, you may notice a new kind of calm entering your life. Not excitement, not adrenaline, but steadiness. That steadiness is alignment. It is what happens when your inner world stops fighting invisible battles. Archangel Michael confirms that peace is your indicator. If something steals your peace, it requires reevaluation, not endurance. There is also something changing in how you see authority. You were taught, directly or indirectly, that authority belonged to those who spoke the loudest or controlled the most. But divine authority feels different. It does not dominate. It does not manipulate. It does not silence. Divine authority brings clarity, safety, and direction. As you heal, you will naturally stop responding to false authority. This may surprise people around you. You might notice subtle resistance from others as you become more grounded. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because your clarity removes their leverage. When you no longer seek permission to be yourself, control loses its grip. Archangel Michael asks you not to interpret this resistance as rejection. It is adjustment. And adjustment always feels uncomfortable before it feels normal. There is a sacred recalibration happening within you. Your voice is becoming clearer. Your boundaries are becoming firmer. Your discernment is becoming sharper. You may speak less, but when you do, your words carry weight. This is not withdrawal. This is refinement. Heaven is teaching you the difference between silence that suppresses and silence that strengthens. The warning you received earlier was also about urgency, but not haste. You are not meant to rush into change. You are meant to move with intention. Each step you take from this point forward should feel aligned, not forced. Archangel Michael guards those who move with wisdom, not impulse. Pay attention to what no longer fits. Conversations that drain you. Roles that minimize you. Patterns that repeat without progress. These are indicators, not failures. They are signs that you are outgrowing environments that were built around an incomplete version of you. Growth always creates friction before it creates freedom. You are also being invited to forgive differently. Not forgiveness that excuses harm, but forgiveness that releases you from carrying it. Forgiveness does not mean pretending nothing happened. It means acknowledging what did happen and choosing not to let it define your future. Archangel Michael reminds you that forgiveness is not for those who hurt you. It is for the parts of you that deserve peace. There is a new confidence forming within you, and it does not need external validation. This confidence is quiet. It does not announce itself. It simply knows. You may find yourself less reactive, less defensive, less eager to explain. That is growth. That is healing. That is authority settling into place. As this unfolds, Your connection with the divine becomes more personal. Less borrowed language, less inherited belief, more direct knowing, more inner confirmation. This is where faith matures. You are no longer believing because you were told to. You are believing because you have encountered truth firsthand. Archangel Michael stands as a witness to this transformation. He is not wrecking you. He is reinforcing you. Each realization is locking into place like armor, not heavy but fitted. You are becoming protected not by walls, but by clarity. What comes next will address how this awakening affects your purpose and the path ahead. It will show you how everything you endured was not wasted, and how your experiences are now being repositioned for something greater. Stay present with this process. The unfolding is intentional, and the outcome is already being guarded on your behalf. Beloved one, what unfolds now is the reason everything before this mattered. Archangel Michael steps closer in this moment, not to reveal another hidden detail from the past, but to redirect your gaze forward. Understanding without direction can leave the soul heavy, but understanding paired with purpose becomes liberation. This is where your story turns from survival into assignment. Everything you endured sharpened something within you. The silence trained your listening. The confusion trained your discernment. The emotional distance trained your self-reliance. None of it was random. Heaven never wastes pain, even when people do. What once felt like isolation was actually separation for preparation. You were being shaped away from noise so clarity could form. Archangel Michael reveals that your life is meant to bring order where emotions run unchecked and truth where denial has lived too long. You are a stabilizer. When you enter a room, energy shifts. When you speak honestly, tension surfaces, not because you cause problems, but because truth exposes what was already there. This is why you were often misunderstood. People sensed your impact before you ever opened your mouth. You may have wondered why your path seemed slower than others, why opportunities delayed, why progress felt interrupted. This was not blockage, it was protection. Certain levels of influence require inner alignment first. If you had advanced earlier, you might have carried unresolved weight into places that demanded clarity. Heaven delayed the platform to refine the vessel. Now the refinement is reaching completion. You are learning to move without guilt, to choose without apology, to rest without feeling lazy. These shifts are subtle but powerful. They signal that you are no longer governed by old expectations. You are responding to inner authority. Archangel Michael confirms that when inner authority awakens, outer resistance loses its power. This season will ask you to trust your internal confirmations more than external opinions. Not everyone will understand your decisions, especially those who benefited from your compliance. You do not need consensus to be correct. You need alignment. When peace accompanies your choices, that is your signal. You may also notice that your compassion is changing. You still care, but you no longer carry. You still listen, but you no longer absorb. This is not coldness. This is maturity. Love without boundaries drains. Love with boundaries heals. Heaven is teaching you how to love without losing yourself. Archangel Michael emphasizes this truth now. Your purpose is not loud, but it is weighty. You are not here to dominate conversations, but to anchor them. You are not here to rescue everyone, but to model stability. You are not here to convince, but to clarify. This kind of purpose does not seek attention, yet it draws it naturally. As your identity stabilizes, you may feel drawn to simplify your life. Fewer explanations, fewer obligations, fewer emotional negotiations. The simplification is not withdrawal, it is focus. Focus creates momentum. Momentum creates movement. And movement invites opportunity that aligns, not distracts. There will be moments when the past tries to resurface, especially when you step into new levels of confidence. Old voices may attempt to remind you of who you used to be. When that happens, do not argue with memory. Acknowledge it and move forward anyway. Growth does not require permission from the past. Archangel Michael assures you that you are being watched over as you step into this clarity. You are not walking unguarded. Every decision made from truth is reinforced by protection. Every boundary honored is supported by peace. Every step taken in alignment is strengthened by divine order. You may soon find yourself in positions where others seek your perspective. Not because you chased influence, but because wisdom attracts attention. When that happens, speak plainly. Do not dilute your truth to be palatable. Those meant to receive it will feel relief, not offense. Those who resist were never your assignment. This is also a season of restoration in unexpected ways. Confidence returning. Creativity resurfacing. Joy appearing without effort. These are signs that your inner world is no longer at war. When inner conflict resolves, life begins to respond differently. Doors open without force. Conversations shift without confrontation. Peace becomes normal. What you are becoming does not erase where you came from. It redeems it. Your story will make sense not because everything was good, but because everything is now integrated. Archangel Michael stands as a witness to this integration, ensuring that nothing fragments again. What lies ahead will challenge you, but it will not confuse you. The difference now is clarity. You will know when to stay and when to move, when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. This discernment is your inheritance. Remain grounded. Remain honest. Remain aligned. The unfolding continues, and what is approaching will confirm that your awakening was not just personal, but purposeful. My beloved one, as this journey continues, the atmosphere around you feels different now. There is less heaviness and more clarity. This is intentional. Archangel Michael is guiding you into a phase where awareness turns into movement. Not frantic movement, not forced change, but deliberate steps that align your inner truth with your outer life. Revelation without application fades, but revelation acted upon becomes power. You are beginning to notice how much energy you use to spend trying to be understood, explaining your intentions, softening your words, tinting your reactions. That season is ending, not because you no longer care, but because clarity no longer requires permission. When you know who you are, misunderstanding loses its sting. Archangel Michael confirms that confidence rooted in truth does not need defense. This is also the season where discernment sharpens noticeably. You will sense when something is off long before it becomes obvious. You will feel when a door is closing even if it looks open. You will recognize when a conversation is draining instead of building. These signals are not anxiety. They are guidance. Trust them. Heaven is teaching you to listen without doubting yourself. There is a shift happening in how you respond to pressure. What once triggered overthinking now invites pause. What once caused fear now invites observation. This pause is powerful. It creates space for wisdom. Archangel Michael stands in that space with you, reminding you that reacting quickly is not strength, responding wisely is. You may also notice that certain people are becoming quieter around you. Not distant, just unsure. Your clarity is changing the dynamic. When someone can no longer predict your reactions or control your emotions, they must adjust. Some will respect this. Some will resist it. Neither response is your responsibility. Your responsibility is alignment. Heaven wants you to understand that growth does not always feel like progress. Sometimes it feels like loss. Familiar roles dissolve. Old routines lose meaning. Relationship shift. This does not mean you chose wrong. It means you chose truth. And truth reorganizes everything it touches. Archangel Michael also speaks about stewardship in this season. You are learning to steward your time, your energy, and your voice. Not everything deserves access to you. Not every request deserves a yes. Not every explanation deserves your breath. Stewardship is not selfishness. It is wisdom in action. As you become more selective, life becomes more responsive. Opportunities that align will begin to surface naturally. Conversations will open doors without force. Ideas will arrive with clarity instead of confusion. This is what happens when inner noise quiets. The signal becomes clear. There is also an invitation here to participate, not just observe. This message is not meant to pass through you quietly. It is meant to activate something. If this is speaking to your spirit, engage with it. Like this message so it can reach others who are standing at the edge of their own awakening. Share it with someone who has felt unseen or misunderstood in their own family story. Comment your agreement, because your testimony strengthens someone else's courage. And if you have not yet subscribed, align yourself with this space so you continue receiving what heaven is releasing. Join the channel membership if you feel called, because community amplifies clarity. Before this moment passes, pause with me. Hold on, because what unfolds next will connect everything you have learned with what you are about to step into. This is where purpose becomes visible, not just felt. Archangel Michael emphasizes this truth now. You are no longer preparing in the dark. Light has entered the process. That means accountability increases, but so does support. You are not expected to be perfect. You are expected to be honest. Honesty keeps you aligned. Alignment keeps you protected. You may feel a growing desire to create, to speak, to build, or to lead in subtle ways. Do not dismiss this. Expression is part of healing. Contribution is part of calling. You do not need a stage to be influential. Influence flows wherever authenticity lives. The fear of being misunderstood may still whisper at times. When it does, remember this: clarity will always threaten confusion. Your job is not to make everyone comfortable. Your job is to stay true. Those meant to walk with you will adjust. Those who cannot were never meant to guide you. Archangel Michael stands as a reminder that courage is not loud. It is consistent. Each day you choose truth over comfort, you reinforce your alignment. Each boundary you honor strengthens your peace. Each moment you trust your discernment deepens your authority. What comes next will show you how this awakening intersects with your future path in practical ways. Not theory, not abstraction. Real movement. Real direction. Stay open. Stay grounded. The unfolding continues, and it is leading you exactly where you need to be. My beloved child, as you move deeper into this unfolding, something sacred is settling within you. It is not excitement, and it is not fear. It is recognition. Archangel Michael is present in this moment to affirm what your spirit is already beginning to understand. You are no longer awakening. You are awakening others simply by being aligned. This is the quiet power that now surrounds you. There is a shift in how you perceive responsibility. Before, responsibility felt like burden. It felt like carrying everyone else's emotions, expectations, and unspoken needs. Now, Responsibility is being redefined. It is no longer about carrying what is not yours. It is about honoring what is. This distinction changes everything. Archangel Michael confirms that when responsibility is aligned, it energizes instead of draining you. You may notice that your intuition has become calmer but stronger. It does not shout. It does not argue. It simply knows. This is discernment refined by experience. You no longer second-guess every inner nudge. You pause, you listen, and you act when clarity settles. This is how spiritual authority matures. It becomes steady instead of reactive. Something else is happening that may feel unfamiliar. You are becoming comfortable with not being needed in the way you once were. You are no longer defined by fixing, rescuing, or absorbing. At first, this can feel like loss. But in truth, it is freedom. When you are no longer needed for survival roles, you become available for purpose-driven ones. Archangel Michael reveals that some people will struggle with this version of you. Not because you have changed your values, but because you have stopped abandoning yourself. This is where guilt may attempt to surface. Remember this clearly. Growth that creates discomfort in others is not betrayal. It is evidence that old dynamics are dissolving. You are also entering a season where your words carry unusual weight. People will remember what you say, even when you speak briefly. This is because your words are now aligned with your inner truth. There is no contradiction between what you feel and what you express. Integrity amplifies impact. Archangel Michael guards this alignment closely because it is one of your greatest strengths. You may feel drawn to solitude at times, not out of avoidance, but out of clarity. Solitude is no longer an escape for you. It is a place of recalibration. In stillness, you hear clearly. In quiet, you regain strength. This is not isolation. This is intentional restoration. As your inner world stabilizes, your outer world will continue to reorganize. Some connections will naturally fade. Others will deepen unexpectedly. Do not cling to what is leaving, and do not rush what is arriving. Trust timing. Heaven moves with precision, not panic. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over your transitions, ensuring that nothing essential is lost. There is also a healing happening around your perception of self-worth. You no longer measure your value by how much you endure, how much you give up, or how little you need. Your worth is no longer performance-based. It is inherent. This realization alone breaks generational patterns. When worth is internalized, manipulation loses access. You are beginning to recognize when something is misaligned without needing proof. This is important. Not everything that harms you announces itself loudly. Some things drain slowly, quietly, politely. Discernment allows you to step away without drama. Archangel Michael reminds you that peace is not maintained by confrontation alone, but by wise withdrawal. There may be moments when you grieve versions of yourself that survived hard seasons. Honor them. They carried you through what you did not yet understand. But do not live there anymore. You are not meant to remain in survival mode when stability has arrived. Survival kept you alive. Alignment allows you to live. Your purpose is becoming clearer, not as a title or role, but as a presence. You bring steadiness into chaos. You bring clarity into confusion. You bring honesty into silence. This is why your life experiences were so layered. You were being prepared to stand calmly where others unravel. Archangel Michael speaks this truth over you now. You are not late, and you are not behind. You arrived exactly when your spirit was strong enough to carry what is being entrusted to you. Timing protected you from being exposed before you were anchored. As you continue forward, remember this. You do not need to announce your growth. You do not need to explain your healing. You do not need to justify your boundaries. Your consistency will speak louder than your words ever could. Those who are meant to understand will feel it without explanation. The unfolding is not finished, but you are no longer uncertain. You are moving with awareness, not assumption. With intention, not impulse. With courage, not fear. Archangel Michael remains beside you, guarding your clarity and strengthening your resolve. What approaches next will bring a deeper understanding of how your awakening influences not just you, but the generations connected to you. Stay open. Stay grounded. The truth is still unfolding, and it is unfolding in your favor. My beloved one, this is the moment where the unseen impact of your awakening begins to reveal itself. Archangel Michael stands firmly now, not only as your protector, but as a witness to a generational shift taking place through you. What you are experiencing is no longer just personal healing. It is lineage-level correction. The silence that once shaped your family is losing its authority because truth has found a voice in you. You may not realize it fully yet, but the decisions you are making now are quietly rewriting what comes after you. Patterns that once felt permanent are weakening. Emotional habits that were passed down without question are finally being questioned. This is how generational change begins. Not with confrontation, but with consciousness. Not with rebellion, but with clarity. Archangel Michael reveals that you were chosen as a bridge between what was endured and what will be healed. Bridges feel pressure from both sides, but they are essential for passage. If you have ever felt pulled between loyalty to your family and loyalty to your truth, this is why. You were never meant to choose one over the other. You were meant to redefine what loyalty truly means. True loyalty does not protect dysfunction. It protects destiny. And destiny is calling you forward now. There is something deeply sacred about the way you are learning to respond instead of react. That pause you now take before speaking. That internal check before committing. That quiet confidence when you say no without guilt. These are not small shifts. They are evidence that authority has moved inward. When authority is internal, external pressure loses its grip. You may notice that others begin to open up to you unexpectedly, sharing things they have never said out loud, asking questions they avoided for years. This is not coincidence. Your presence signals safety. When someone has faced truth within themselves, others feel permission to do the same. Archangel Michael confirms that light does not demand attention. It invites honesty. This season may also reveal how much strength you gained without realizing it. Situations that once overwhelmed you now feel manageable. Emotions that once controlled you now inform you. You are no longer afraid of difficult conversations, but you are also no longer drawn to unnecessary ones. This balance is wisdom. Understand this clearly now. You are not responsible for healing everyone. You are responsible for staying aligned. Healing spreads through example, not exhaustion. When you honor your truth, others are given permission to explore theirs. Some will not. Both outcomes are valid. Archangel Michael is also bringing reassurance. The peace you are building is not fragile. It is rooted. Even when challenges arise, you will not return to confusion. Once clarity is integrated, it cannot be undone. You may feel shaken at times, but you will not be lost again. The chapter has closed. There is a sacred confidence rising within you. Not arrogance, not pride. Certainty that you can trust yourself. Certainty that you can navigate discomfort without abandoning your values. Certainty that even when answers are delayed, direction is not lost. This certainty is a gift earned through endurance. Now, pause here and honor this moment. Type "I am the turning point" in the comments if this message confirms what you feel deep inside. Blessing code 888 is being released now, marking abundance, generational alignment, and divine completion over your life. And as this blessing is released, hear this call clearly. This message did not reach you by chance, and it is not meant to stop with you. I am speaking directly to those whose hearts feel stirred right now. When you give through Super Thanks, channel membership, with a PayPal link in the description, you are placing oil on a flame that is already reaching hidden places. The Lord says, as you sow into this voice, I will cause light to enter homes that have known only silence. This is not charity. This is obedience. This is a prophetic act tied to this very warning and revelation. Those who respond now will see their own households shift in unexpected ways. Release your support with faith and watch heaven move on your behalf. Do it now. What comes next will bring everything together. Not just who you are becoming, but why this awakening had to happen exactly this way. Stay with this. The final layers are unfolding, and they will confirm that you were never alone, never overlooked, and never mistaken in your journey. My beloved child, as this revelation continues, there is a quiet settling taking place within you. It feels like recognition meeting acceptance. Archangel Michael stands near, not in warning now, but in assurance. You are no longer questioning whether this awakening is real. You are beginning to see its evidence in how you think, how you respond, and how you move through the world. This is the phase where truth stops feeling intense and starts feeling normal. What once shook you now steadies you. What once confused you now guides you. This is important, because stability is the foundation for everything that comes next. Heaven does not build futures on emotional turbulence. It builds on grounded clarity. You may notice that your relationship with the past is changing. Memories no longer feel sharp. Old moments no longer carry the same emotional charge. This does not mean they were insignificant. It means they have been processed. Healing does not erase memory. It removes control. Archangel Michael confirms that when the past no longer dictates your reactions, it has fulfilled its role. There is also a shift in how you see your family now. Not through blame, not through resentment, but through understanding. Understanding does not excuse harm, but it releases you from carrying it forward. You are seeing people as they were, not as you needed them to be. This perspective brings freedom. It allows compassion without entanglement. Your sense of identity is also stabilizing. You are no longer defining yourself by contrast. Not I am different from them, but I am rooted in myself. The subtle shift matters. Identity built on opposition remains reactive. Identity built on truth remains steady. Archangel Michael guards this distinction closely because it determines how you lead, love, and live. You may feel less urgency to explain your journey to others. Words feel unnecessary. Your presence says enough. This is maturity. When alignment is internal, validation becomes optional. You are not hiding. You are simply no longer performing. Performance was never your calling. There is also an increase in discernment around opportunities. You will begin to notice that not every open door feels right. Some invitations will excite the ego but unsettle the spirit. Others may feel quiet but deeply aligned. Trust the quiet ones. Heaven often moves softly when something is truly meant for you. Archangel Michael reminds you that peace is the compass. You are also learning to sit with unanswered questions, without anxiety. This is a sign of trust. Trust does not require immediate clarity. It requires confidence in direction. You are no longer afraid of the unknown because you trust yourself to navigate it. This is inner authority in action. Pay attention to how your body responds to environments now. Engine, ease, heaviness, lightness. These signals are guidance. You are becoming integrated, meaning your mind, spirit, and body are communicating clearly. When alignment happens internally, intuition becomes practical, not mystical. There may be moments when you feel a quiet grief for what could have been if truth had arrived earlier. Allow that grief to pass through gently. You not dwell there. You are not late. You arrived when you were strong enough to use what you receive. Earlier awareness without stability could have broken you. Timing was protection. Archangel Michael speaks reassurance here. Nothing essential was lost. What matters now is not what you missed, but what you are ready for. Readiness is more valuable than opportunity. Opportunity without readiness creates damage. Readiness attracts opportunity naturally. You are also becoming aware of how your energy affects spaces. You bring calm where tension exists. You bring clarity where confusion lingers. This is not accidental. Your journey trained you to hold steady in emotional complexity. That steadiness is now a gift to others, whether they recognize it or not. This season will ask you to honor simplicity. Complex explanations are no longer required. Simple truth carries more power now. Speak plainly. Act intentionally. Rest without guilt. These practices keep you aligned. Alignment keeps you protected. Archangel Michael continues to stand watch as you integrate this new way of being. Integration is not dramatic. It is consistent. It shows up in daily choices, quiet boundaries, and honest conversations. This is how awakening becomes lifestyle, not just experience. As you move forward, remember this. You do not owe anyone access to your inner world. Privacy is not secrecy. It is stewardship. You are allowed to be selective with your vulnerability. Wisdom chooses when and where to open. The next unfolding will address the future-facing implications of this awakening. Not predictions, but preparation. You are being positioned for influence that flows naturally from who you are, not what you force. Stay grounded. Stay present. The path ahead is becoming clearer with every aligned step you take. My precious one, as this message moves forward, there is a sense of readiness surrounding you now. Not anticipation mixed with anxiety, but readiness rooted in clarity. Archangel Michael stands present in this phase as a guide for action, because awareness has already done its work. You are no longer gathering information. You are beginning to live differently because of what you know. This is where many people hesitate, but you are not meant to. When truth becomes integrated, it demands expression. Not loud expression, not dramatic change, but embodied truth. The way you speak, the way you decide, the way you choose rest over chaos and alignment over approval. These choices may look small to others, but they are reshaping your future. You are also learning something important about courage. Courage is no longer about confronting others. It is about honoring yourself. It is about saying yes when something aligns and no when it does not, even if no one understands your reasoning. Archangel Michael confirms that obedience to inner truth is the highest form of courage. You may notice that your patience has deepened. Not passive patience, but confident patience. You are no longer rushing outcomes or forcing timelines. You understand now that clarity attracts the right opportunities at the right time. When something is meant for you, it does not require exhaustion. It flows with peace. There is also a refinement happening in how you use your energy. You are no longer willing to invest deeply in things that do not nourish you. This includes conversations, commitments, and emotional labor. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. Energy directed wisely multiplies. Energy scattered carelessly drains. Archangel Michael is also reminding you that influence is not always visible immediately. Sometimes the most powerful shifts happen quietly. A boundary you set today becomes the standard tomorrow. A truth you honor now becomes the foundation later. Do not underestimate the long-term impact of aligned choices. As you embody this clarity, others will take notice. Some will feel inspired. Some may feel challenged. Your role is not to manage responses. Your role is to remain consistent. Consistency builds trust. Trust opens doors that charisma never could. This is also a moment to recognize the importance of shared awakening. You are not walking this path alone. There are others finding their clarity at the same time, drawn by similar truths. Community matters now. Alignment grows stronger when it is reinforced. That is why engagement matters. If this message is resonating, take a moment to like it so it can reach those who are searching quietly for the same confirmation. Share it with someone who is standing at the edge of a breakthrough but has not yet named it. Leave a comment, not for visibility, but for connection. And if you have not subscribed yet, align yourself with this space so you continue to receive what is unfolding. Step into membership if you feel led, because growth accelerates in intentional community. There is something important you should not miss here, so stay with this moment. What unfolds next ties together everything you have learned and prepares you for the final shift ahead. Archangel Michael emphasizes this truth now. You are no longer living in reaction to the past. You are acting from presence. Presence is powerful. When you are present, you see clearly. When you see clearly, you choose wisely. When you choose wisely, outcomes change. You may feel a renewed sense of confidence in your ability to navigate uncertainty. That is because uncertainty no longer feels threatening. You trust your discernment. You trust your ability to pause, assess, and respond. This trust is the fruit of everything you have processed. There will be moments ahead where old patterns attempt to resurface. Familiar emotions, old doubts, previous fears. When they do not panic. Recognition is not regression. Awareness allows you to choose differently. And you will. Every time you choose alignment over habit, you reinforce your growth. Archangel Michael remains near as a reminder that protection is not just external. It is internal. Discernment protects you. Boundaries protect you. Self-trust protects you. You are no longer vulnerable in the ways you once were. You are anchored. As this part of the journey closes, allow yourself to acknowledge how far you have come. Not just what you endured, but what you integrated. You did not just survive confusion. You transformed it into clarity. That is no small thing. What approaches next will feel like completion and beginning at the same time. The final layers of this message will reveal why everything had to unfold exactly as it did and what this awakening means for your future path. Remain present. Remain open. The most meaningful confirmations are still ahead. My beloved child, as you arrive at this stage of the unfolding, there is a deep sense of completion moving through your spirit, yet not an ending. It feels more like standing on solid ground after a long crossing. Archangel Michael remains beside you, not as a warrior now, but as a guardian of wisdom, ensuring that what has been revealed becomes firmly rooted in how you live, not just how you understand. This is the season where integration becomes visible. You are no longer processing truth internally alone. It is showing up in your daily rhythm. The way you wake up, the way you speak to yourself, the way you respond when something does not go as planned. These are quiet indicators that transformation has taken place. True change is rarely loud. It is consistent. You may notice that you no longer feel the need to revisit old stories repeatedly. The past does not demand retelling because it no longer holds power over your present. This does not mean you forget where you came from. It means you are no longer defined by it. Archangel Michael affirms that remembrance, without attachment, is a sign of healing. There is also a new clarity around your direction. Not a detailed map, but a strong sense of orientation. You know what feels right and what does not. You know when to proceed and when to pause. This internal compass is reliable now because it is no longer distorted by fear or obligation. Alignment has sharpened it. You are also becoming aware of how much lighter your inner world feels. A constant self-questioning has quieted. The need to justify your choices has diminished. You are no longer rehearsing explanations in your mind. Peace has taken the place of overthinking. This peace is not passive. It is active assurance. Archangel Michael speaks gently here. Do not underestimate this phase. Many people chase breakthrough moments but overlook the importance of stability. Stability is where lives are rebuilt. It is where trust grows. It is where purpose becomes sustainable. You are being established, not just inspired. There may be moments when you are tempted to rush ahead, to seek the next revelation or the next confirmation. When that urge arises, return to presence. Everything you need for this moment is already available. Depth matters more than speed now. Roots matter more than reach. You are also learning discernment in relationships at a deeper level. You can now sense when a connection is mutual and when it is one-sided. You can feel when conversation flows from honesty versus habit. This awareness allows you to invest wisely. Not everyone deserves the same level of access, and that discernment protects your peace. It is important to understand that maturity does not mean emotional numbness. You still feel deeply. The difference is that your emotions no longer lead you blindly. They inform you, but they do not control you. This balance allows you to remain compassionate without being consumed. Archangel Michael continues to guard your clarity because clarity attracts responsibility. As you become more grounded, others may look to you for guidance, even unintentionally. When that happens, lead with integrity, not pressure. You do not need to have all the answers. Presence alone can be healing. There is also a new relationship forming between you and silence. Silence no longer feels empty. It feels full. It is a place of listening rather than waiting. In silence, you hear your own wisdom clearly. This is where discernment is strengthened. You may notice that your prayers are changing. Less asking, more alignment. Less urgency, more trust. This is not distance from the divine. It is closeness. When trust deepens, desperation fades. Archangel Michael honors this shift because it reflects confidence in divine timing. You are also beginning to see how everything you experienced has prepared you to walk with humility rather than superiority. You do not look down on others who are still in confusion. You understand them. That understanding keeps your heart open and your spirit grounded. As you move through this phase, protect simplicity. Complication often reintroduces confusion. Simple truth. Simple choices. Simple obedience. These anchor you. When life becomes complex, return to what is simple and aligned. Archangel Michael reminds you that protection does not mean absence of challenge. It means presence of guidance. Challenges will still come, but they will not derail you. You will navigate them with discernment instead of panic. There is a quiet confidence now that does not seek recognition. You are content knowing who you are even if no one else names it. This confidence is unshakable because it is internal. External validation becomes optional. As this part of the journey settles, take a moment to acknowledge your growth. Not with pride, but with gratitude. You stay present. You listen. You allow truth to reshape you. That willingness has changed everything. What comes next is the final sealing of this message. It will bring blessing, closure, and instruction for how to carry this awakening forward. Remain open. Remain steady. The conclusion will not diminish what has been built. It will strengthen it. My beloved child, this is the sealing moment. What began as a warning now becomes a commissioning. Archangel Michael stands with you not to guard you from truth anymore, but to stand witness to the authority that has awakened within you. You are not leaving this message as the same person who entered it. Something has been completed, and something eternal has been activated. You have traveled through understanding, healing, clarity, and alignment. Now you stand in ownership. Ownership of your story. Ownership of your voice. Ownership of your future. The secret that once held power through silence has lost its grip, not because it was exposed loudly, but because you no longer live under it. Truth does not need to shout when it is embodied. This final revelation is simple, yet weighty. You were never meant to confront your family's past directly. You were meant to outgrow it. Growth is the highest form of resolution. By becoming whole, you ended what words never could. By choosing alignment, you closed doors that arguments would have only rattled. Archangel Michael affirms this clearly now. You are free. Free from inherited confusion. Free from emotional assignments that were never yours. Free from proving, pleading, and performing. Freedom does not mean absence of connection. It means connection without captivity. You may notice going forward that your life feels quieter, but fuller. Less dramatic, but more meaningful. You will no longer be pulled into cycles that once demanded your emotional labor. Not because you hardened, but because you healed. This is what maturity looks like in the spirit. There will still be moments of challenge. Do not mistake challenge for regression. You now meet difficulty with discernment instead of doubt. You ask better questions. You pause before reacting. You trust your inner confirmation. These are signs that wisdom has taken residence. Archangel Michael places this reminder before you now. You are not meant to carry this awakening alone, but you are also not meant to carry others who refuse to walk. Release the responsibility of convincing. Release the burden of rescuing. Your life itself is the testimony. From this point forward, your role is not to explain your transformation, but to live it. Speak when led. Act with allied. Rest when needed. This rhythm will keep you grounded and protected. Heaven honors consistency more than intensity. You are stepping into a season where your presence will bring peace without effort. People will feel calmer around you. Conversations will soften. Tension will dissolve simply because you are no longer feeding it. This is quiet authority. This is leadership without noise. Let gratitude anchor this moment. Gratitude for what you survived. Gratitude for what you learned. Gratitude for who you have become. Gratitude seals revelation so it does not fade. When gratitude settles, clarity stays. Archangel Michael now stands back, not because he is leaving, but because you are standing. This is the mark of readiness. You are no longer being carried. You are walking. Before this message closes, honor what has been completed. Type "I walk in divine truth" in the comments if this message has sealed something in your spirit. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your life, marking completion, alignment, and divine authority for what comes next. And now hear this final call with clarity and power. I am speaking to those whose spirits burned as this message unfolded. This mission continues because truth must reach home still living in silence. When you release support through Super Thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are placing seed into living ground. The Lord declares, what you release into this word, I will return pressed down and overflowing in your house. This is not generosity. This is obedience. This is a prophetic response to a divine warning fulfilled. Blessing follows action. Stand with this mission now. Release your support and watch heaven respond.